See, I'm sorry, but why is it so difficult? I'm sorry to say. Like, I keep seeing this on my FYP, and I thought maybe a lot of people are just over exaggerating until I went into deep research and I find out that white people cannot say excuse me. Like, why is it so difficult to say that? Like, what is in you saying excuse me? I don't. Some of these white folks need to visit Africa. Honestly, you need to visit Africa so that we can culture you. Oh God. Like, I will just stay like this in Africa, and you want to come and pick something, or you want to come and pass, you cannot say excuse me, and you will just and pass. I'm gonna drag you back. I'm gonna drag you back. Anyways, welcome to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And as you're watching this video, I wanted to actually share your experience with me. Have you experienced any of these that you're about to watch? Let me know. Credits to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in this episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And with that being said, let's dive right into this video. Let me even know the reason why this one not did that. I'll be back with commentaries. Cut.
A lot of people think I'm a rude, entitled white woman because I do not say excuse me. Me not saying excuse me has zero to do with any of my other habits. Absolutely nothing. It is a choice of words. Instead of saying excuse me, I say, can I get past you? Or can I grab that right in front of you? I am more particular about what I am requesting instead of being vague and forcing the person to process and stand there having to figure it out. I also want to say that it confuses me a lot when people say excuse me, because almost every single time someone has said that to me, I have already been out of the way. I'm not in their way. They're like 5 feet away from me saying excuse me sometimes, and I'm like, why? For what? And it's like, to me, I instantly think that they're saying you are in my way, not can I get past you. My mom is from England and she's 23 years younger than my dad. She also worked full-time while he neglected us.
White people, when they are in public, do not say excuse me. They don't say excuse me to black people specifically. I'm speaking from a black experience. There is no acknowledgement of another person's presence if they are in the way, right? There is no, hey, excuse me, my bad, right? Whereas black people culturally, in what I found, do say excuse me more often. And I believe that this is an indicator of privilege that is not talked about enough. Because when we look at indicators of privilege, we have to understand it is something that socioeconomically or that just socially in general indicates that one person is experiencing more privilege than another. And I believe that white people not acknowledging, whether it's people of color or just any person, as far as like saying excuse me or moving out of the way or just assuming that they are going to be able to have the right of way when walking down a sidewalk with a person of color, is an indicator that white people have not had to acknowledge the existence of people of color if it at all disrupts their journey, their peace, their space, whatever. This happens societally and culturally, but I think that physically, white people not saying excuse me is just a indicator of the privilege that they experience in the world and them not feeling as though they owe other people anything. Whereas black people feel like we just owe people respect, right? Because of the things that we've been through, because we've seen what it is like to not be respected, but also because white people make black people feel subservient in public, right? And so I think naturally we just have more empathy. Naturally, we just have more awareness. And I think that this is an indicator of privilege. White people, when they are in public, do not say excuse me. They don't say excuse me to black people specifically. I'm speaking from a black experience.
And it's not just to black people, it's also with Latino people and honestly a majority of people of color. And I'm hopping in to talk about the Latino Mexican side of this. If you want to watch the black perspective, watch that video. I'll link it below. And I think I can provide a very unique, I guess, perspective. Growing up, we were the only really big Mexican family in a really white town. So as you can imagine, we were obviously like there and in your face. We were the only brown people. We were 6 people. We were there. The only time I actually saw people move out of the way because we were walking was one woman, an elder woman, who saw my mom was pregnant and was like, move over for the pregnant lady so she can walk by. After that, never again. 2 years ago, I dated this white boy and he was like, he came from a very WASP family. I mean, they weren't bad, but like white American. I don't know if they were religious actually. It was like, you know how with white people there's like hair colorism? Well, this man, his entire family and friend group were all blonde. It was very strange. It was a very interesting time. So like there were so many things that they were just not aware of. And one thing I pointed out to him was like, did you ever notice that people of color or white people never move out of the way for people of color? And he was like, no. So we were at Target and one day this like Indian family's walking and I don't even think about it. It's just subconscious. Like I just move out of the way to let the family walk by. He sees it and he moves out of the way. Like he followed me. It was not instinctual to him. We broke up. We did not last more than like 4 months. And then when you call it, like I got lucky that he actually listened to me. There are some white people where you give them slight criticism or like how to be better.
Talking about how like her political beliefs have come very far, but like she's still
Why white people don't say excuse me?
Crazy. My papa told me about this when I was like 18 years ago. Then years later, another OG I know, he told me the exact same thing. This is how you know this ain't made up. So back in the South, years back, black folks, you know, they had dirt roads back then, right? So they have on a nice Sunday best clothes because, you know, we was poor. A lot of us was poor. Didn't have a lot of nice clothes. If you was walking down the road and a white person was walking down the road, you purposely had to put your head down. You couldn't look them in the eye or else you was going on the tree, big dog. And you had to put your head down and step over into the mud, you and your family. And that was the rule back then, that you do not have to get out these people's way. They got to get out your way. And they indoctrinated their children the same way. Don't hit me in the comments, oh, that's in the past. No, that's why this stuff's still around, because it's taught to the kids. And that's why when we out and about, a lot of us don't know our history. You can't understand, bro, why these people don't never say excuse me or get out the way. That's why, because they've been taught you ain't got to get out no black person way. They get out your way. So like that comedian said, I purposely will not get out the way. You gonna have to say excuse me, or damn it, we gonna shoulder bump or something, because I'm not moving out your way, but this ain't the 60s. So yeah, little history lesson for y'all.
White people, when they are in public, do not say excuse me. They don't say excuse me to black people specifically.
This is a global thing. Just yesterday, I was on a train from one part of France to another, and I realized a man is in my seat. First of all, I double check to make sure that I'm not in the wrong, right? My first assumption is I could have gotten my seat wrong. So I double check. I'm like, this is the car, this is the ticket. A woman looking over my shoulder, she goes, yeah, that's your seat. And I look at him, he looks at me, and I was like, that's my seat. And he goes, well, can you sit somewhere else? And I said, you can sit somewhere else. He was like, well, I'm already sitting here. He points to the seat in front of him next to the woman who looked over my shoulder. And he's like, well, you can sit there. And I said, you can get up and sit there. And it was so wild to me because I'm like, why are we having a back and forth when my seat has been assigned? There are times when I get caught in conversations that I'm thinking, why is this happening? Why are we speaking? This interaction should have been, hey, you're in my seat, and him going, oh shit, my bad, and then moving. This man had the nerve to get passive aggressive with me. As he stands up, he looks at me, he's like, well, thank you. And I said, oh no, thank you. People are paying attention. People laugh. This one bald guy, he looked at me and he gave me a thumbs up for like standing my ground. But this is an insane thing. The most interesting thing to me is that when you name things like this that are happening, people love to act like if you name a behavior that is happening specifically because of your race, your gender, your age, whatever, that it's not true. But when you act against programming, suddenly they're uncomfortable because they can't point out that you are going against the rule without acknowledging that the rule exists in the first place. What made him assume that I would give up my seat for him? You think that Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks did all of that for me to give up my seat to a white Frenchman in 2026? If I wrote it into a script, you would call it heavy-handed and ham-fisted, but this is real life.
One time somebody told me that white people do not move. Like, they don't move out the way. They don't say, excuse me, etc. They wait for you to move. So I started testing it out in my real life, and I haven't moved for a white person since. And I tell you, I bump into them all the time because it's like, am I supposed to move for you? Excuse me?
White people just can't leave black people alone, right? And I think sometimes when we act as if black people are just unruly, unstructured, ungovernable, they are the problem, right? White people are just doing nice things, building a civilized environment, and then these black people come along and they ruin it, right? This gentleman's playing piano, playing it incredibly well to a really high standard, a beautiful classical music, not offending anybody, background music. People are filming and watching and observing and taking part. This gentleman walks by, and there's about 3 or 4 of them. One walks by and looks over, points out that they're singing, that he's playing piano. Another one looks by and kind of stops. Then this guy is the one that then follows up behind. But this guy turns up and he's like, oh, doom, in the middle of him playing. And I always feel like that is a metaphor for just us existing. Whenever we go into realms of excellence, somebody comes out, a Karen with a clipboard or a phone, I'm going to call the police, or have you got a permit for this? Or like there's just some desire to interrupt us when we are being excellent. If we're playing football and we're doing well, it's like, oh, you're spending too much money, you're too loud, you're too flash. And it's like, oh, you're trying to change the world and give too much money away. Marcus Rashford has been hounded out of this country. He's now in Barcelona because of the media coverage is so insane. Jude Bellingham refused to join Liverpool and Manchester City because he was like, look, I don't want to ever go back to England and have to deal with that level of news. Every single black player that's played for England has been absolutely rubbished by the media. Well, Harry Kane has nothing about him. Grealish has been found drunk at 5 a.m. at a nightclub and nobody has been hammering him. They've been talking about rehab and care and sharing. And that is why it's injustice. And that is why so many black people fully do not believe that the country is going to change, because media is going to keep it going. And also, these guys will...
Hi, TikTok. So I have a question for you. White people, why don't y'all say, excuse me? Like, is it just not in your vocabulary? Did nobody ever teach you that when you're out in the world in public and you want to pass somebody, the proper thing to do is say, excuse me, so they can now be made aware of the fact that you're there and you want to get by? Why do y'all feel like it's less rude to walk up on somebody and stare at them until they decide to move because you just magically appeared and chose not to use your words, or squeeze on past like without a word,
just not excuse me or anything. You're just going through. Like what? Why do y'all do that?
Yo, I just do not fucking get it. I don't think I look scary. Maybe it's my hat. Maybe it's the shirt. But I'm over here in Fillmore and Fulton Street. There's my favorite coffee shop down here. They got bomb coffee. I forget what this place is called. I wish, what is it? 4 Barrel Coffee. Yeah, they're amazing people in there. Really great coffee. But there's this fat ass line. And, yo, I don't know how white people do not have the fucking ability to say, excuse me. Do I look like I'm gonna kill you if you say excuse me to me? This dude doesn't walk in front of me. He walks in the half a foot space between me and the wall, knocks my hair back. I'm like, I'm trying to hold on to my black rage, you know what I'm saying? So I don't get killed by police responding to these microaggressive white actions. But I tell the dude, I was like, bro, you can totally say excuse me. He's like, oh, I'm just going to path of least resistance. I was like, say excuse me. And he's like, hey, what's up now? Yeah, hold on, let me say what's up. Yeah, all right, peace.
Excuse you.
So I've been doing like a silent social experiment. One day it occurred to me that white people just don't say excuse me. I notice this all the time when I'm out in spaces. They do not mind just squeezing past you or waiting, and just like, it's so awkward when it happens. You know when it's happening. Either they gonna avoid you or take up a hella space. So now when I'm out, I'm just like super cognizant of like when this happens, because it's so frequent and y'all don't do it at all. Like you could be at a concert, step on a nigga's shoe, look him right in the face and not do nothing. That just reminded me, I was literally at a Ravens game earlier this year.
That shit just crazy, bro. I'm at the Ravens game and I was just like thinking to myself, like, I'm really mad handsome. There's 70,000 people in this bitch. And then it's me here.
And these people are walking past the aisle and she steps right on my shoe.
Excuse you.
It's just a small aisle. I'm not tripping too much. I was recording a video and I had already scooted back. It was ample space to walk. It was five people walking through. She the only one that stepped on the shoe, looked at me right in my face, and kept walking.
No, they just could have said excuse me. That was rude.
It's like a sense of entitlement. I don't know. Like you feel it. You feel it. I see it all the time.
Hey, let them know. Let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens. Steelers. Suck on these balls. Yeah, Steelers.
Yeah, I came across this post on Facebook and all the white people are mad at me again. I've been pissing them off for the past days. I don't give a fuck. But it was a post, a black woman reached around a white woman's shoulder while she was in the store, and she didn't say excuse me or nothing. Like clearly it was for the video, but she was just doing a little, a little skit or whatever. And the white woman was like, oh my god, personal space, blah blah blah, get mad. And I was in the comments and I was like, well, they do it to us, so what's the problem? Babe, when I tell you all them white people started spawning, talking about some, we don't do that, blah, blah, blah. But there's never been a time ever in life where a white woman was standing behind me and said, excuse me. Every experience that I've ever had with a white person in a store, when they say I'm right here trying to get something from the shelf, and this lady over here needs some shit from right here too, she would literally stand there and wait on me to move instead of just saying, excuse me, I need to get something. They will literally stand behind you and wait. They won't say, excuse me. They won't say that shit. It literally pains them to say it. I don't care what nobody say. And of course, I'm not saying it's everybody. I'm just saying some of them do that. Like, you ever been looking at someone on a shelf and out your peripheral vision, you can see them literally standing there staring you down, waiting on you to move? Or just looking at the shit on the shelf like, damn, bitch, just tell me you need to get something. I will move. Like, do you think I'm finna hold this shit hostage? No, baby. I just want you to be respectful and say, excuse me. Like, that should be crazy. But I know I'm not tripping. Like, this shit happens every day. But no, like, they in the comments talking about, oh, we don't want to be around y'all. Oh, y'all are disgusting. One girl was like, you make y'all's race look bad. I'm like, well, how am I making us look bad when y'all the ones that are being disrespectful? Like, because we know how to say excuse me. But we're not going to give respect where it's not earned. Quote unquote, we. Since we sticking together and shit, like, since we are segregated, one of them like, you're pathetic, you're this, you're that. Like, bitch, just say excuse me, shut the fuck up.
Okay, look, I got a question, and I really want to know about this because I fear this needs to be studied. How come other races specifically, they don't say excuse me when walking by? Okay, look. The reason why I say that is because I'm in a store. I literally just left a store, as you can see behind me. I left a store. And when I go through an aisle, because things are so tight, I always say excuse me. If we're coming together, I always say excuse me. They feel like they don't have to say excuse me. Or they just stand there. Okay, so the first time I said excuse me, and then I realized, okay, when I go down another aisle or go down another section, because I hate feeling like I'm in a way, so I'm always like, excuse me really quick. Or just let me squeeze by you, excuse me. I'm trying to do the courteous thing. You see what I'm saying? And then you just stand there or you don't move. So guess what I started doing? Not moving. Because I know you see me. This space is only so big. You see what I'm saying? And if we both got buckets and we both getting stuff, what part of that does not, like, excuse me, not exist? Do y'all not get taught to say excuse me or have manners or mannerism or something? Please let me know. It pisses me off. The reason why it made me so angry is because not one time did this happen. Happened multiple times. Okay? And I'm just like, I will not move for anyone if they don't say excuse me back, or that we're saying it together. And you just feel like you own the aisle. The aisle is only so big. It really frustrates me. I'm so frustrated. I'm sitting in my car. I'm mad. I'm frustrated because I am a true Southern belle, okay? I'm going to say excuse me. I'm going to hold the door for you. I'm going to do all the things. But it makes me so mad that people cannot part their lips to say excuse me. Let me get by you real fast. Pardon me. Is it gonna hurt you to say, use your manners and say, excuse me? You just stand there like I can't even think of the words, like a knot on the log, or like the old folks say, whatever they say. Please let me know. Please let me know. Because I'll pass other people and they say, excuse me. Especially us. We're gonna say, excuse me. Other people gonna say, excuse me. It's just them who don't say, oh, please let me know. Please let me know. Like, I'm telling you, because it's like a social experiment that needs to be studied. I'm going to say some say excuse me. I did see some when I was in the store a while ago that say excuse me. We say excuse me at the same time. But if I say excuse me and then you act like it's a problem that I'm coming down the aisle that you're coming down, you don't own no aisle. And even if you did, you need to have common courtesy and say excuse me. I just really want to know. What is it? I want to know, have y'all experienced this too? Because my club clip done broke, y'all. That's how mad I am. I need to know.
White people, when they are in public, do not say excuse me.
I want to say part of what you're talking about is a historical phenomenon. Black people, we were oppressed, right? And part of the oppression was that we had to accommodate white people for our own safety. And that meant oftentimes when we were walking down the street, we got to move out of the way because they could make up stories and get us lynched. And I think that subservience did coalesce with our natural wanting to accommodate and wanting to be empathetic, and we're community based. Like, I think Black culture, regardless of what culture we're talking about, is so community driven that it's epigenetic at this point. So if we know culturally to be aware of our surroundings and to be accommodating to other people, and then you pair that with the systemic oppression, it leads to this behavior. That being said, like 10 years ago, I saw on TikTok someone talking about how, white people don't move out of the way. We should stop moving out of the way too. We should just, bump into them or whatever. And ever since then, I've been doing that. I can tell you that all the time, they've never moved out of the way for me. Even if they're very well aware that I'm there. And mind you, I'm not walking straight down the center. I'm not a psychopath, though a lot of the white people that I've encountered do walk down the center, which is insane. I walk with enough room to accommodate another person. I mean, obviously, it's not always going to be the case. Not all sidewalks are the same, but I try to accommodate other people. And I always find it weird. Like, even if we're I hike a lot. So even when I'm walking down like a narrow trail and someone's walking this way, I used to move over. And what I noticed is white people don't do that. They so rarely do that. So then I stopped doing it. And then they bump into me now and they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, bro. And I'm like, and obviously I'm taking into account that I'm also a man and I'm muscular. So then they bump into me, it's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt me. And there's also the fact that I can but yeah, ever since I started doing that, I feel better. Like, I feel better because I didn't realize how much weight there was to having this constant stress of having to move out of the way for other people, and then feeling like like it wasn't something done out of nicety or out of community, like what I think. It's more because they thought that I deserved to move out of the way. And I think that's where the privilege comes in, because they're so privileged that they don't often even realize what they're doing and how it's inconveniencing Black and brown people, and how that one little act is just one of many microaggressions that do negatively impact us. But I feel better now that I don't accommodate them. I still do the regular niceties of being, you know, on the side, not directly walking down the center like a psychopath. I'm still hyper aware of where I am at all times, but I make the conscious effort to, you know, not give them a taste of their own medicine, but demonstrate that I'm aware of what's happening, and I'm not going to let it happen anymore.
Anyways, welcome back and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed all of that clips I was able to roll out for you guys. And honestly, I don't see any reason, like I don't see any damn F of reason why you will literally not learn simple courtesy. For me, that is just simple courtesy. That is just a normal thing. That is just what you can literally do just to pave your way out. Do you get? I was taught in the home I was brought up that excuse me is very important. I am sorry is very important. And thank you is very important. You see, these three things, we do not joke with it, especially as African, in bringing up our children. Because I don't see any reason why you can literally not tell me, excuse me, that you want to grab this thing up. Okay, you will just tell me, just like the way the white woman I roll out in my clip said, that she don't see anything, any form of saying, excuse me. The only thing she can tell you, oh, can I grab that thing in front of you? Hell no, you cannot grab that thing in front of me. Yes, you have to wait till well I'm done. That was why I saw a particular video going viral where this white woman, literally, this black woman was already putting her things in in a supermarket store where this black woman has already dropped her things for the cashier to calculate, and this black woman just had only one thing with her, and she just and just dropped it and said, oh, do that and give me. And the black woman was just folding her arms looking at her. For someone like me, I can't do that, I'm sorry, because you have to tell me, excuse me, you have to tell me, please, excuse me, can I? It's very, very, like, it's very, very important to me. I don't see anything that people are saying, oh, excuse me, is not a big deal. It's a very big deal. It simply means you have courtesy, you have home training. So why will black people learn to say excuse me? Black people will learn to say please excuse me whenever they are in public spaces. Maybe they want to grab something in front of you, or they want to do something in front of you, and you can literally not say excuse me, and you're trying to tell me that is not because you have that privilege, that is not in your attitude, that is not generalizing your other characters, but that's the kind of thing you see that when you say excuse me, before the brain processes the excuse me, before the yada yada yada, you have to say excuse me. Excuse me is very important. It's very important. They are simple courtesy you should not just let go. And exactly, this is how they will literally bring up their children. Do not get me wrong, I'm not saying all white people do not say excuse me, but out of 100, 99.9% of them do not say excuse me. And I've done my research, I've done the counter and the balancing, and I found out that it is just like they see it as a normal thing that especially whenever you're a black person, they just walk in front of you and just grab what they want to grab and just go their way. Who the hell are you? I can't take that. I can't. I can be cool, but my blood is hot. My pressure is hot. I can't take it. I can just explode on your head. So please, whenever you see me as a white person and you don't know how to say excuse me, and I'm in front of you, learn to say excuse me. Tell me excuse me, because if you do not, I'm going to drag you back. Maybe we are going to be going to court back to back. It's as simple as that. But anyway, some of the reasons why some of them can literally not open their mouth to say excuse me is, one, they were not raised with strong, eloquent habits. They were not raised with strong, eloquent habits. Two, they are distracted or in a hurry. I don't care. I don't care. If you like, you want to go and visit Jesus in heaven, you have to tell me excuse me. Three, they come from a culture or environment where people communicate more directly. That's bullshit. You're not the only race in America. Other races are still there and they say excuse me, so why can't you say it? Four, some people are simply rude and inconsiderate. That is just what I see. They have privilege, so they want to exercise the privilege. They want to exercise their rights. So what's the point of me telling her, excuse me? How can I tell a black person, excuse me? Why I have the privilege, I have the rights. For in a crowded place, some people become more destabilized to polite interaction. It's a lie. Oh. I don't accept that one. I don't accept that one. As far as I'm concerned, excuse me is very important, because that is why all of them keep training children in generations that at the end of the day will start asking, how did you, who bet you, who bet this evil author? You understand? If you're watching, please, it is important that you teach your children courtesy. Courtesy is very important. No matter how rich you are, no matter how influential you are, courtesy is very important. I have a 16 years old and she know that there is no way she will not accord respect to who she want to accord that respect to, and you expect me to just look at her and just clap for her and just let things slide. It's not done. So learn to teach your children courtesy so that there will be your representation outside there. It's as simple as that. But anyways, let me know in the comment section, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. Have you experienced any of this? I want to know your opinion in the comment section. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be simple, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.